Hello again, guys. I'm back. Today is September 8th, 2017. And I'm just making this. It's not going to be a long video, but I figured I'd let you guys know this is the new story I'm going to be working on, which is the Betty and Barney Hill story. Of course, I'm familiar with it a little bit because, of course, I've heard of it. And it's another story where people still kind of believe. I mean, I know there's doubters, but I know there's also probably the majority are believers. Okay, and I know there's other people that spoke about it. So I'm sure I'm not the only one who have spoken about this story. However, I want to come back to telling you guys what I've said in previous videos. Okay, before I ended my previous videos. That dealt with Valiant Thor and Frank Stranges and Howard Manger. I just basically wanted to show y'all that here again we have a group of people that were known to be good people, okay? Well-speaking people, quiet people, you know. But again, I must say that just because individuals, okay, that matches those descriptions as well-educated, well-dressed, quiet, outgoing, that doesn't necessarily mean, okay, that these experiences were real. Maybe they have been real, but then again, maybe not. For me, you can make claims as many times as you like, but if there is no solid evidence to back up these claims, again, how is it that we should believe these claims because these people have no evidence? Now, of course, I'm going to definitely tell you more about this Betty and Barney Hill story, but it looks more like she, before she passed away in 2004, had a lot more to say than, of course, her husband, Barney, and again, I mean, I have my own opinion, which I know a lot of people are going to have their own opinion, but I like speaking on facts, okay? To my knowledge, there isn't no solid evidence to prove that their story was real, but I'm going to really get into it to make sure that that's the case. Because again, just telling us it's not going to really validate anything unless they left behind some sort of solid evidence that what happened really happened. Also, you got to bear in mind that these two people, of course, were from the era of the 1950s as well. So I'm sure they were familiar with Howard Manger, George Adamski, George Van Tassel, and it's kind of hard to think that these people didn't know who those people were, right? I'm just saying, have an open mind because you never know. You never know. Are these UFOs real that we see in the skies? Again, it could be earthly technology that we're not aware of, or it can be vehicles that are not from Earth. Now, of course, the way I make a distinction between the two is that obviously a UFO that we don't really recognize will move in an unusual way and at fast speeds. That would be something, zigzagging in the sky. That would be considered something that's not earthly. An unidentified object from Earth, which of course we can also call a UFO, okay, can also be a technology that we're not aware of that the governments are working on. But no, I'm not talking about that they zigzag, like the other ones do, because the ones that do the zigzagging and flying so fast, I believe those are the ones that are not earthly vehicles. So that's why I decided that, I'm going to make a little distinction there, okay? Now, in terms of Betty and Barney Hill, okay, they made a description of these beings, supposedly, that humanoid looking. And, she how they said basically, well, she's saying that they grabbed them and put them in examination rooms, her and her husband, and separately. and they try to do some examinations on her and stuff like that. So again, I'm going to really get deep into this story. In this video, I'm not, because again, this is just an opening to let you guys know exactly who we're getting into next. And I know I'm not the only one who's done this video of these people, but I like to get into more facts. So, for me, it's like, again, if there's no solid evidence, I don't care who you are, okay? It doesn't matter who you are out there making these claims that you're a contactee, that you have been abducted. You have to show some sort of solid evidence so that we, the people, can say that that was a real incident that occurred. And you just saying it and going to lectures and writing books, that's not telling me that you really had an experience. That's telling me that you're looking for money. Okay? You're going fishing because you feel like, okay, well, now that I got these people attention, and with my story, now let me write some books. Now let me do lectures and have people pay me. Okay? So you guys get the point of what I'm talking about. It's either you believe based on solid evidence, or you disbelieve simply because they're just saying it and have no evidence to back up their claims. Now, people will probably say to me, goodness, how is it that you are going to come on YouTube and say about solid evidence? What if these people have no solid evidence, but they were abducted? How can you prove that they were not abducted despite the fact that they have no solid evidence, right? Remember what I tell you guys? It's all about psychology, okay? Psychology 101, people. I'm not saying I'm the smartest person in the world, but I ain't a stupid person either, okay? Normally, when it comes to these movements, okay, of these individuals that like playing these hoaxes, okay, and that's why I call it the roller coaster of hoaxes. So it's like a little movement. The thing is, it's almost pretty much like, once again, the psychics. They're saying that you're a negative person simply because you don't want to believe, and you're so close-minded, so now they can't see any spirits, simply because you are just being too demanding of proof. So they're trying to run around the question. Okay? So it's the same thing with all these stories. Again, I'm not saying that the Betty and Barney story was fake. I'm not saying that. So I would hope that people are not misunderstanding me. What I'm saying is, this is the story that I'm going to be looking into even deeper, okay, before I start concluding what I believe. But I'm just telling you my opinion, overall, generalizing about all these people that make these claims that they have been abducted, or they have contacts with extraterrestrial beings not from Earth, or or other things. Because again, this planet, we just have so much people that are so blind, and that's sad. Okay? That is pretty sad. When you're going to go out there and believe people based on what? No facts. You can't just believe people if they have no facts to back up their claims. Okay? That is why this forum, okay, and I thank YouTube for this opportunity to give me, an opportunity to speak to the people, my opinion, and for like-minded minds out there that are open-minded, okay, to acknowledge that it's not about accepting every single thing you hear out there when it deals with alien and UFO phenomenon. I already told you guys, I do believe that we're not alone in the universe. But think about it for a second. Maybe, what if it's possible, okay, that also some people that claim to have contact with alien beings that look human looking, maybe it's our government officials, certain individuals that are on these not unearthly spaceships. I'm talking about Earth spaceships. And when they're in the sky, obviously someone who looks up will look at it and be like, wow, what the hell? You know, so, I mean, I look at all the possibilities, all possibilities. And once again, like I did say that when we're talking about us being human, and then of course we got people to saying that these extraterrestrial beings are human looking, I don't doubt, because I mean, again, if you were to accept the Bible today, you know, as a historic book, I actually took it as an historic book, just like other people's, in other cultures, they have their own historic books. But then here goes our country, or other countries saying that that's a myth. You know what I'm saying? We cannot proclaim that the Egyptian gods were a myth. We can't proclaim that the Greek and Roman gods were a myth. We can't proclaim that the Chinese gods were a myth. Why are we saying they're a myth all of a sudden? See? And no, I'm not just saying now. I'm talking about because, of course, if you guys remember, okay? And now I'm not trying to go deep. Again, when I speak about the Bible, I'm not speaking about religion. So I want to make it very clear for everyone out there. I'm not speaking about religion. I'm speaking about the Bible that everyone knows, okay? That was known as the Torah, okay? The Hebrew Bible. That, I guess you can translate that as the historic book of a peoples called the Israelites, okay? That's what I call it. A historic book, because that's what it is. And then you got the New Testament, which came after the fact. Okay, it ran right through Rome, which of course, Rome was one of the biggest paganistic, I would have to say the biggest in paganistic world, basically, because they believed in their own gods. Plenty of gods, okay? So, what I'm trying to say is that I'm generalizing here, okay, guys? So please, bear with me. What if these people are talking about real gods who were real people? Okay? I know you probably heard this before, obviously. I'm guessing I'm not the only one who've ever talked about this. But I do believe that these people were real. I also believe that Adam and Eve was real as well. You know, I mean, if you take it to be that they were real, then that means that Yahweh, okay, the creator, whether it be Jehovah or Allah, whichever name you use, but once again, the historic book of the Israelites, it's Yahweh, okay? So let's just say that Yahweh happened to be this extraterrestrial being that's far advanced, which that's our mentality of what God would be, right? But the religious people don't look at it that way. They look at God as just this being who's just a being who's going to help you. You know, again, we have to have an open mind about the possibility that God may not be who we think God is. And like I just told y'all in the previous video, okay? Now I know y'all like, wait a minute. He just started with Betty and Barney, but he's going off into this. Yes, because it all ties together in what I'm trying to say here, guys. That it seems like all these people, okay, they bring in and using history, basically, because then you got, what was his name? Zechariah Sitchin, for instance, who spoke about the Anunnaki, okay, about these alien beings who supposedly had us as slaves. Now, do you believe it? I don't know if you believe it or not, but he's the only one known to have translated all those things, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he was right. I'm just taking a little sip of my Pepsi. Well, guys, in continuing on, what I'm saying is that I just believe that humanity was brought to Earth, not for slavery, no, of course not. Simply as created creatures, We're still trying to understand everything about the universe. We're trying to understand ourselves. Will we get to that level? I don't know. I really don't know. But I do know that there's too much secrecy in this planet, and I believe that it would be nice if Yahweh, or he or them would just come and make themselves known to humanity, so that we can see that they're here. You know, I know that this probably gonna get a lot of people upset because, again, they probably thinking I'm talking religion when I'm simply not. It has nothing to do with religion. I'm just tying all these stories, these contactee stories. I'm tying them together so you can gain an understanding of what I'm saying. Okay, these Greek mythologies and Egyptian mythology and Chinese mythology. I don't consider those mythologies because those people really believed in those beings as really real people. So who are we to consider that a myth? Why? Because the Bible, okay, which I already said is a historic book about a peoples named the Israelites and their God Yahweh. Okay, so the history happens to be a little bit tainted with the Roman and Greek belief. So. But again, I'm just saying that there's a lot of things that we have to consider. At one point, you got Elijah, the prophet, being taken up to the sky, and they say in a whirlwind. Now, maybe that was translated right, or maybe that was translated wrong. But clearly, he must have been taken up by a spaceship. There also was what appears to be some type of cloud following the Israelites wherever they went. And I guess they said that was their God Yahweh. But think about it for a second. Did these gods, or God, Yahweh, was on a spaceship, covered the cloud, so it doesn't scare them, and just follow them with the cloud? It's possible. It's possible. I don't rule out anything, people, but I'm just saying that a lot of these things, they tie together. They tie together. Okay? Now, I know some people come to their own conclusions. I'm not saying that I'm right about what I just said. I'm not right. If you want to say I'm not right, that's fine. It's funny because I said this is going to be a short video, but I actually got caught up talking about this because I love this type of stuff. You know what I mean? This is something that I can say that I like. I like these stories that come up, and it's interesting stories. Look, like Whitley Strieber, who said he had his contact, something like that. He was a contactee, I guess, or somewhat of a abducted person. See, I'm telling you guys, I am aware of all those stories. Okay, even the Travis Walton case. Which, of course, again, these people can make claims all day. What I look for is solid evidence. That's just simple and clear. Okay, when you saw me doving off into something else about Yahweh and the people Israelites, I'm trying to get you guys to understand that what I'm saying is that what if life and things around what we think we were taught to be history is not what we're taught, We never know. What if we really are going to be surprised? What if we're going to be surprised? That's actually what I'm waiting for, because I'm going to say I told you so when the time comes where this Yahweh comes down and present him or her or they themselves to this planet and declare they're here. But we never know. We never know. There's so much things that have been happening on this planet that is just so crazy. It's just crazy, from earthquakes to hurricanes to, As I make this video, you guys are already aware of things that are happening right now. Does it scare me? I would say yes, to some degrees, because I don't want to see humanity, basically destroy themselves over stupidity. So if I personally was an advanced being, will I intervene when it comes to something of that magnitude? Yes, I would intervene simply because I would not allow man, that is humanity, to destroy themselves. Because just think about it, that's not what we were created for. We were not created to destroy ourselves. Think about it, guys. Why do you think that the governments of the world have these nuclear weapons? Do you actually think that these nuclear weapons are for us? Think about it for a second, people. That's what I'm saying. What if what we were taught is not exactly what we thought it was? Okay? In my opinion, nuclear weapons on this planet, it's not because we want to use it against each other, although that may be the case, of course, because, of course, Japan got at one point bombed by us, United States. I'm not happy about that because obviously I care for humanity. But what I'm trying to say is these nuclear weapons, I believe, were created in case we have a hostile peoples that come from distant galaxies or star systems and try to take us over. That's a possibility. Okay? You guys can say no all day and say, no, that's not what nuclear weapons are created for. Oh, maybe our nuclear weapons won't even affect them. Wait a minute. It may affect them if all governments of the world are already in talks with certain extraterrestrials from different other galaxies that are the good ones, right? And helped us to develop nuclear weapons that can destroy these advanced ships that come to Earth. It kind of reminds me of this show. I kind of like to mention shows because I am not trying to get myself, people get saying that, I'm using their names or whatever. I'm not using anyone's names. It was a good show back, which I definitely liked the show. It reminds me of Star Trek, of course. Earth Final Conflict. That show I actually liked. But anyways, what I'm trying to get to is that, again, history may not be what we were taught, people. It may not be what we were taught. I consider all those things that we don't know hidden history. Why are there people in this planet hiding the true history from us when we have the same right as them to know the facts? What are the facts? People are probably saying. You guys know what I'm talking about. I just told you. Okay? What if we had beings that come to Earth, but they come in a hostile, they come definitely coming wrong, trying to take us over. We have to defend ourselves somehow, right? It's just crazy. This is a warped world, and it makes me think, why things are the way they are. Will this change? I don't know. Nuclear weapons, we can also say, are used for, of course, against asteroids that are coming towards Earth, and we may be able to defend ourselves against it by, of course, shooting it down. Or changing its course, rather, with these nuclear weapons. But again, like I said, I don't think nuclear weapons were created just for that alone. Okay? Because we're considered to be lower beings, right? If we are so desperate to see that we are not alone in the universe and that we want to know more. Again, there's people that are not sharing that hidden history with us because I guess they feel that it is their right to know more about hidden history than us. You know, I think that's wrong. I think all humanity should be one, and that's what we are. We should all be in the same team, considering that we are humanity. We're all here in one planet. We might not all get along with each other, which of course that sickens me to death because I just don't understand why would people just hate each other for no reason. But if you think about it, people hate each other over religion, money, and others, and quite other stuff, which is fucking ridiculous, okay? But anyways, guys, my point is that we are going to be talking about the Betty and Barney story more in depth. Like I say, I only know a little bit about it. I'm familiar with it, but I want to go deeper into it because I want to be able to determine whether what I'm saying is actually correct, or that I am wrong about something, okay? Because again, I want to make sure that when I look into the story, that there is fact to the story somehow. But if I see that there is no solid evidence to prove that what happened to them was real, then I'm going to tell you guys just straight like I've always done. I'm just going to tell you that it's a bunch of bullshit. Simple as that. Once again, people probably get upset because they say, well, you're so close-minded to this UFO alien phenomenon. And again, I have to repeat myself and tell you guys, no, I am not close-minded, okay? I have an open mind. I'm 43 years old. I'm not an idiot, okay? I have an education. My whole thing is, what I'm trying to tell you guys is that you can't believe everything you hear without solid evidence, okay? Like I told you, if it was me going through these experiences of extraterrestrial, if I was abducted or something, yes, I'm going to try my best to show you some type of solid evidence, okay, to show you. But so far, none of that happened to me, so I can't really tell you guys anything. The only thing I can do is examine all these stories, just like you guys out there, and determine whether I believe that they're a bunch of bull or that they're real. There's a whole bunch out there that, of course, I'm sure you guys seen it, But then you got to be careful because there are these people that nowadays, of course, they use these photographic manipulations now. Like I've been telling you, is an age-old method, okay? It's a technique that people have been using for hundreds of years now, okay? So be careful when you're watching these videos on YouTube when it comes to people showing you aliens moving and stuff like that. Please watch out for that because some people, what they're doing, they're adding their little flavor to it, Okay, these little geniuses with the cameras, what they do is they put things just to make you think that it's real, and it's really not real at all. Okay? And I mean, I think that's a cheap way of trying to get subscribers and views and stuff like that. Me, personally, people could dislike what I'm saying, or they can like what I'm saying. That's fine. I respect all, regardless of the fact. But I will defend my opinion. So when it comes to disagreeing with someone, well, I'm going to have to agree to disagree with someone, okay? Because, of course, some people are going to argue that, this story may be true. Some people are going to just be like, yeah, I believe you, But it's not that I want people to believe me. I want people to examine for themselves, okay, about all these claims out there. Or all these people that are out there in the world, wherever they are in the world, that make all these claims. Remember, guys, you shouldn't have to come out your pocket just so you can get something from someone that they claim that they know about, UFOs and aliens, and why they got to write a book about it, why they can't just speak about it. Simple as that. I can sit here and write a book all day about all this stuff. But do I want to do that? Absolutely not. The reason is because I can use this platform to speak all of y'all, like I said, for free. You don't have to come knocking on my door and say, hey, here's $10 so I can hear you talk about Valiant Thor or all these other people. No, you don't have to give me nothing. Really, you don't. My whole point is, let us all come to one understanding, people. You know? That's all I'm saying. Let's come to an understanding. If you feel that I'm wrong about anything that I'm saying, hey, be sure to point it out. If you think I'm wrong, fine. I am just speaking my mind. It's my opinion. It's what I feel. Okay, when it comes to life. Life is confusing sometimes. And it is our job as humans to figure out exactly what the fuck is going on. Okay? So, that's why I said this is the next story I'm going to be looking into. And we all going to be talking about this. Again, share your thoughts with me about anything. Okay? And share your thoughts with me about anything. Whether you like what I said, whether you hate what I said, whether you feel that I disrespected anyone, which of course that's not my agenda here, simply because I mentioned the name Yahweh, which is the God of the Israelites, of the Bible, okay, the historic book. So, like I said, I am going to be talking about all those subjects. So from time to time, you'll see me talk about this, but then you'll hear me talk about this, and then you hear me talk about this. Because I try to blend it all as one, simply because if you pay attention, okay, you will gain understanding about life in a certain way. And then you'll be like, wow, that's right. You think through about it. So with that, I'm going to close this video. And again, I'm hoping that I didn't disrespect anyone, because that was not my my agenda here. That there is no agenda, you know, just to be clear. I'm just trying to let you guys know the facts. And of what I can anyways, because if I can't find something, then of course, why talk about it, right? I just figured this story because, of course, they lived in New Hampshire, which is my neighboring state. I'm in Massachusetts. And I figured I'd tackle this story and to see what I come out with. I mean, I only know a little about it, but I want to get deeper into it, you know? So with that, I'm going to leave you guys right now. And like I said, you can like the video, you can hate the video, you can subscribe if you like. But just remember, guys, we're all going to have an open mind about all things, okay? All things. When you see me talking here, this is because I'm speaking my mind. And I believe in certain things. I'm not expecting anyone to believe anything that I believe in. I'm just saying, let's all come to one mind, you know, and see things for what they are. If people are out there making these claims that they have contacts with UFOs and aliens or what have you, be sure that they show you proof, solid evidence. Be sure that these lecturers out there that are out there today making huge money contributions, they're just getting a whole lot of money because they're speaking about a whole bunch of nothing that people are willing to listen to, you know? How are they any different from me right now speaking here on this platform for free? Just telling you what I need to tell you about these people, excuse me. It's just crazy, you know. That's what I'm saying. Life is crazy. You know, people always trying to get that dollar, you know. And this is the way that people get it. They figure they use the UFO alien phenomenon as a scapegoat. Well, anyways, like I said, I'm going to close here, guys, and subscribe if you like. You don't have to. Like the video. But the next time you see me come back on here, I am going to be talking about the Betty and Barney story. I know people are probably saying, hey, what about the Howard-Benjamin story? Well, the reason I still didn't get into it now is because I already got into it when I was talking about Valiant Thor, you see. I mentioned Valiant Thor and tied all that together because, of course, Valiant Thor is Frank. Ernest Strange is himself. And Howard Menger had his own hoax, so that's why you don't see me talk about Howard anymore. I think that I'm done with all that. Okay, so now we're going to move on, and this is what I'm moving on to, which is Betty and Barney Hill. So with that, I say peace, guys. And again, thank you for listening. And I would like to thank YouTube also for giving me this opportunity to have this platform to speak to people of like minds. So with that, I close here. Okay, peace, guys.